Well, we'll see how long that goes. So, and then I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. All right. Let me know if you guys can see this. Whoops. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen at all?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I'm probably going to make this. Let's see. Normally I make it go full screen, but then I can't see your guys' faces. Normally I have two monitors, but everything's kind of up in arms as that we moved. Anyway, can you see it good enough that I don't need to do that?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, if you see me out here like this with my beautiful forehead, then
Okay,
I'm
awesome.
zooming in.
Okay, well that'll be fine, whatever. Well, I wanted to first welcome everybody to this team gathering. I know that we tried to do in person for the last 4 months, and that was super difficult to do just because of drive times, scheduling. It's just hectic. Everybody's lives are hectic right now, so I wanted to make it easier to do virtual. We do have it scheduled for the first and third Monday of every month, and it's always at 8:15 with some buffer time in the front because I think I'll probably continue to bring like other industry professionals from 8 to 8:15 to kind of hang out with us while we're getting ready. And so if we slot that for 8 to 9 o'clock, then you guys can kind of pop in and out from there. And I think if we find that let's say the third Monday, we want to kind of flex that time a little bit, maybe we'll push that back just a little bit so people can have an opportunity to come at the 8 o'clock time, or if people can't make it, maybe they come to the 9 o'clock time or something like that. So right now we're kind of flexing on that. So, but anyway, welcome, and we're going to continue to do these. I'm going to host two of these a month, plus our business partner meeting. So I'm going to be hosting three virtual meetings every single month, just like clockwork. We'll even host them in December because we'll slow down during that time, but that's also a good time to just meet together and talk about what the industry is doing. But tonight we're going to cover some four topics. We're going to spend most of the time tonight probably in the team ideas and just making it so that you guys can have a voice to sculpt where you want the company to go, and you guys can help put in your ideas and opinions. That way, it's not just me shoving it down your throats or anything. I want to make sure that we're doing the business in a way that meets your needs as well, and we can all become successful. All right, so we're going to cover the question on the Jive line that I have. I'm going to just pitch it to everybody and then we'll kind of vote on it, or we'll just go around the room if you have ideas. We're going to go over training categories, of course, and ideas. Oh, what's up, Alex? Welcome. We're going to go over those training categories and ideas, of course, and that we're not going to spend too much time there, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. And then we're going to talk about team ideas. So that's where all of us are going to kind of chime in. And then I want to talk about the swag stores last item on the agenda. So let me talk about the Jive line for a second. Right now, it has given us quite a few phone calls as of late because we did get our Google AdWords account open again. And so people are being able to find us and give us a call on there. However, there are so many robocalls that that's making it really difficult. So I was just going to kind of go around the room. Who's picking up the Jive line and how many robocalls have you gotten, or has most of them been robocalls?
I pick it up a lot, and the majority of them, well, all but one in the last little bit has been a robocall.
Gotcha. Okay, and that's probably more likely the case that I've had from most of the agents. So, um, I'm going to show you something really quick, is our dial plan. So, and this is probably super hard to see, but this is actually how the Jive line works. So right now, all the calls start at this little start box. And oh, Alex is here again. What's up, Alex? Anyway, all of our phone calls start at this little start box, and then they go through our scheduler, which just says, are we open, closed, or are we on holiday? So if we're open, obviously the phone calls, they hit my phone for 5 seconds just so I can track it. And then they go to the this line and voicemail 101, which is all of our team members' cell phone numbers plus lender partners. And so the thing that we used to have this auto attendant, which is down here, that made people select a number to reach a certain person. So if they were looking for a realtor, they'd hit one. If they were looking for a lender, they would hit two. In my opinion, oh, excuse me, I would like to try having this auto attendant be number five, and we'll say, you've reached Fitness Realty. Our menu options have changed. To reach a live voice now, click five or push five or whatever. I'll come up with something that sounds good. That way we know they had to select number five, and most robocalls know that they're going to hit number one, and that kind of gets through these auto attendant things. And so if we did number five, that should make it so that the robocalls go to the voicemail or just get deleted off of there anyways. So I wanted to pitch it to you guys. What do you guys think about that? Because what will happen is the call volume is going to decrease like 95%, but it should have somebody who's looking for us on the other end every time instead of, you know, 4% of the time. So what do you guys think about that? That sounds quiet.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm
a good
game.
idea.
We,
I
we didn't
concur.
all want to speak at once, but that's a good idea.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, awesome. Oh, thanks, Alex. Awesome. All right, I appreciate you guys with the feedback on that. I'll work on this to tweak it. It might be tonight, it could be tomorrow. But once I get it tweaked, I'll let everybody know. Well, I guess it just doesn't matter. I'll let you know anyways when I get it fixed. And if you have any ideas of what sounds really nice to say to people to get them to push number five, I'm open to that as well. And if you want to be the voice of it, you could totally send me a voice message, and I can probably use that. So anyway, all right, that's enough on that. All right, let's talk about training. I'm going to bring up something really quick. Um, I should have had this pulled up, sorry. Should have done that while I was waiting on everybody. Let's see. All right. So while that's loading, the training categories that we have right now, I want everybody to kind of go through, or not through the training, but I want everybody to start thinking while you're in the training mode and you're thinking about like either you've gone all the way through it or you're halfway through or whatever, wherever you're at in the training, I want you to start thinking about how the training looks and feels. So right now, this is the training portal that we have set up right now. So there's a lot, I mean, there's 155 lessons, which is really like 115 or so because 40 of them are the podcast. And I just have all the podcasts loaded at the end so people can have an easy way to find it. So right now, the training portal looks really heavy and looks overwhelming. So I'm wanting to try to make the amount of videos either less or put them into categories that are like these are the 15 core videos, and like if you watch these 15 you could do real estate. Without them you're probably doing nothing, and then the rest of them can be a la carte after that. So I want everybody to kind of think through that, like how would you fix the training to make it better, or while you were going through it, what are some things that you can give me to make it a better process for you. So any ideas currently off the top of your head, like of how it felt or what you would do to change it, just to kind of spitball.
I don't want to speak if somebody else was going to say something, but I mean, I hammered it out not too long ago, and really, I mean, if you think about the training, just like getting up in the morning and doing something like some habit forming thing, it didn't take that long. Like turn on the video while you're doing your hair, or your phone can sit right there, and it's not really anything that you need to watch, so you can definitely just listen to what you're saying. If you dive into something that's a little bit more intense, then maybe stop what you're doing and go back to that when you have more time where you can really focus. But the information is really good, and it's good to review, because things sound like gibberish the first time somebody talks about, say Kit was on and he starts talking about whatever's going on in the market and mortgages, and all of a sudden there are words that you don't understand and they just go over your head. So trying to listen to this more often is more, I think it's helpful. And I think putting them into categories would really help. But also I think you need to just devote your, some time to it and just say, I'm going to do, 30 minutes every day or whatever, because some of them are not that long. So
Yeah, that's true. I like that. Anything else?
Well, my
I
suggestion,
saw Alex comment. Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I love your videos, but consolidate into groups and make playlists out of them. I'm usually driving 80 down the road when I have to watch them. There's no way I can jump from video to video. If you could put a playlist together, and maybe you do and I've missed it, but a playlist
Yeah.
would make my day, because I wouldn't have to worry about, pulling over in the middle of, Salina to switch videos.
Right. Yeah, true. I've never thought about that. I can probably do that on YouTube pretty easy, actually. Nobody's ever brought that up, so thank you for bringing that up. Um, let's see, I'm gonna put categories, making a playlist.
So
Yeah.
something, I guess, compartmentalizing everything and maybe, into like, oh, writing a repsy and then negotiating, then timelines of the repsy, or whatever it takes. But what I've been doing recently, and Ben just spoke to it, it's kind of my secret weapon, is I've got a 30-minute commute one way to work.
Hmm.
I can sit there and contemplate why I'm up so freaking early and hate my life, or I leverage that time to hit the broker education I'm doing, and everybody's got a drive time unless you're working from home.
Hmm.
Um, Utilize that drive time. Sometimes I'm doing that. Sometimes I'm listening to a book or whatever. But you know, why listen to somebody else's ad on the radio when you could be bettering yourself? So I mean, I guess that's my 2 cents: is compartmentalize the training a little bit better, and if you don't have time, make time.
Yeah, I like that. Utilize spare time, maybe.
any extra time, I mean, driving is perfect. That's a great way to, you say you're jumping in the car to do whatever, turn your phone. It's got Bluetooth, right? So you load something and then just go right onto to listen.
Yeah, I
I'm,
like that a lot.
I mean, we drove down to St. George this last Thursday, and the other four guys, I made them suffer through about an hour of broker training while I played
That's
the whole
awesome.
thing through the car. I'm like, I'm driving, I don't care. Um,
Yeah.
but, 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there. You'd be surprised the heavy lifting you can do. There's plenty of college students that listen to lectures, that have master's degrees, that earn their degrees behind the wheel.
Yeah, that's true. No, I like that. I was gonna see if I have it written down here somewhere. I don't. So, my mom and I went through a broker class on Friday last week, and one of the things that he said, and it stood out to me pretty well, is if you don't have time to train, then do you have time to pay a fine or lose your license? And I was like, ooh, don't say it like that. That's heavy. Because he was talking about people that have lost their license as brokers, and I was just like, yikes. Okay, that's why we got to take this serious, and put some effort into training and stuff like that. So, Anyway, I love the feedback.
I just donated $250 in a fine because I wasn't paying attention.
It happens. It happens. That is true.
Do you
So,
want to elaborate?
Not really, but I will. So stupidly, I put a client under contract with me, and I don't. Um, if I'm making weird noises, it's my chair. I'm not out here flatulating on the video. I promise.
you're good.
So I put a client under contract with me, and I don't put. You know, this is a chapter out of TJ's book. I don't put a client under contract with me until I write an offer. That way, they don't feel compelled or locked in or anything. And I put the contract end date as the day I wrote it, which was stupid. But then this circumstance was a little bit different. I had a client that was going through some traumatic times, and she, without getting into too much detail, I put her under contract with me a while ago because we were going to list her house that week. She ended up getting detained and was released about 30 days later, and then we listed her house. I didn't re-up the contract, which the MLS wants you to do. They want you to have a fresh contract 5 days or newer from the time you list the house um, on the MLS. So essentially, you either have to lie and say, "Hey, I did this," and then potentially get caught with your pants down, or do a brand new contract. And this one, it just slipped my mind because we waited 30 days, and normal circumstances like that happen. And I went ahead and volunteered an extra $250 to the MLS.
Yep. Classic. Classic. One day we're gonna have to figure that out about the having to do a new contract because I actually wonder if the first contract they would still hold us bound to that one, even though we would write a new one unless you terminated and then rewrote one, but they would still find you outside of those limits. I don't know.
So
Anyway, that's
something,
like getting in the weeds.
yeah, I'm not trying to, go off track, but after speaking with an attorney that lives close by, I'm wondering if we as Fitness Realty could have our own contract for a client, and then we use the new listing for the client at the time we go on the MLS. And they said that was totally doable. So it could be just something we have our own contract with the sellers that are saying that they would use us. So what you're trying to do is hold them, keep them with you instead of going off with someone else. So
Yeah. Well, and something else on that too is potentially if we ask other agents that have used that active no-show listing thing often, it may or may not even make a big deal. And so, I don't know. We need to do more research on that.
I
So,
haven't used it, so I don't know.
right, I haven't used it either, so I'm not sure. All right, anything left on training? Sweet. Okay. So this is my team ideas page. So I just want to kind of spitball some ideas here about where we're going as a company and some of the things that we have right now. What are some of your pain points, if you have any, that we can fix? And so just give me some ideas of if you are enjoying where the company is going currently, or if you have any pain points that you have or that you want us to try to fix. Um, so just give us some good and or bad and or ugly.
I'll jump in first. I mean, I really think this is awesome, right? This forum's awesome, but I think we need more participation out of everybody before we can discuss some pain points. But, something else that I would absolutely love to say is it's easy to be a part of this team because there's no mandatory office time. There's no, yeah, I agree with Alex. You have to be a self-starter, absolutely. Because TJ, you work for Coldwell Banker, they're like, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do this many cold calls, and they kind of cram success down your throat because it's a one size fits all.
Hmm.
And I really think that anybody's left this brokerage and went to another one and they're like, oh, I can't have a full-time job and be a part of a brokerage at the same time. It just doesn't work because my broker has mandatory meetings and all this other stuff. But I definitely think we need more participation before we can really attack what's bugging people.
Yeah, I thoroughly agree with that. I think that's awesome. Um, if you do have any pain points, we can bring those up because I think that one of them, and we've kind of covered it with the training, is that there is there are so many videos, but it is good, valuable information. But I'm just trying to make it better and easier to kind of stomach the whole thing, if you will. But is there anything else? I know um like Stacy's pretty new, so you've got just like the learning curve is here. Ben, you've done a couple, Alex has done some, and so where we're at just kind of as a pool of agents in here. There's like every different level of experience level, which is kind of fun to see. So I'm just happy that you guys are here anyway. So anyway, I went round and round in a circle to just say, if you have a pain point, let me know.
I have a question for a couple of people in here, and I know as a new agent, one of the things that I super struggled with was negotiations. Trying to not climb down the other agent's throat and being narrow-minded with I need to do everything for my clients. How does everybody else feel about negotiation training and because I mean everybody comes from different walks of lives, and that's one of the things I struggled with a couple of times. And TJ has had to talk me off a metaphorical cliff, fiery death cliff of canceling rep season, threatening lawyers. So, I mean, how's everybody else feel about
Well,
negotiations? It was a big struggle for me.
for me, I think kindness is the key to success and compromise. And it's going to be a compromise on anything you do with any deal. And if you can explain that to your client, that you're here for everybody to win, you're going to make it happen, and everybody will be happy in the end, and you won't offend anyone, And I most, even if my client is being really belligerent and not wanting to work with the other people, I never share that information. I keep it all friendly, kind. I don't want anybody to think anybody's grouchy at somebody else, because that you just don't get anywhere with that. So if you can, paint the picture in a better light and show that maybe they're gonna win out in this other scenario just by doing something this way, just sell it, but keep it light and happy, and so everybody's knows that you're all working toward the same goal.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I definitely think there is a lot of room that we could all just get better in there. Just because we all can uh, get better at life in general with those negotiations. So, but I like that a lot. I think that we could do some really fun role playing, especially because there's been some scenarios that are real world that we could kind of peel from, and that would just be kind of fun to talk through. So I don't know, maybe me and Zach will do a negotiations video. That'd be kind of fun.
I wish Callie was here, but I'm kind of glad she's not, because Callie and I are actually working through a deal together. Um, and it's been interesting, but I think it's been a really good conversation. I think it's been a really good experience for her, and even silly stuff like who writes an addendum. We needed to push a deadline, and it was a request from her sellers to us, and she was like, "Hey, and I'm sorry I'm name dropping, but this is just an example, and I'm not casting any shade on Callie, so please, anybody that feels like I'm doing that, I'm not. That's not my goal. But just kind of who writes an addendum. I've always thought that if the request is coming from your party, you would write the addendum and present it to the other party, and sometimes that gets drawn across, and that can be a source of pain, from one realtor to another, of just who's writing an addendum. But
Hmm.
it's been fun to work with her, and I've really had to remind myself that she's on our team.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish she was here, maybe I'd like blip off the channel and she'd be like, Zach is a jerk. And
Hey, maybe, I
um,
don't know.
yeah.
No, that is
Anyway.
that's some good wise points there. The cool thing is, oh sorry, the cool thing I think is that you never know that the agent might be on our staff, or you might work with them at a different company and then they end up here. And so that's something to kind of put in the back of your mind is, to try to treat everybody cordially and like you would want to be treated because they might end up here, we might hire them and then you're like, ooh, that's going to be a pain point. All right. Well, I just love to put it out there that everybody has a voice here. If you have a pain point moving forward, or you have a great idea that you're like, hey, we should totally try this or whatever, let me know. But I want to kind of move down through these real quick before we get too far. So the 2023 goals. I just want to make sure that your goals, you have them written down and that you are looking at them every day or you're tweaking them. And this part about when I called everybody on the staff and or on our team, and I called everybody and said, what is one goal that you're going to do in real estate this year? And most people had pretty good goals. Or I mean, most people had a goal in real estate, is what I mean. And then I asked everybody about one goal that you wanted from me. And at first, it sounded like everybody wanted me to continue to be here, answer a lot of questions, which I'm always or I'm always trying to be as fast as I can to respond to you guys. So I'll always continue to do that. But one of the other resounding themes was to host more of these events. And so as we kind of press through 2023 with virtual team meetings and all of the events that we have planned, which I'm going to go over here in a second. Um, I just want to make sure that you're trying to value or evaluate your personal goals in real estate, and then really kind of pressing me to help you become successful in that arena. Because I really just love to teach it to a level that will help you become successful. So anyway, I love to kind of piggyback on or go off of those goals. And so I'll probably be calling everybody. It'll probably be July because we'll be 6 months through. And when we hit July, I'll call everybody and see where you're at in your goal. And then also see if there's a new one that I can help you achieve or if you want me to do something new. So kind of put that in the back of your mind. If you're not talking about goals right now, I will always prompt you and prep you and talk about it. And so if you get tired of hearing me talk about goals, you should probably just quit this team because I love to press people to do more, be better, look at it every day, or try to really facilitate helping you in your life. All right, let's see. I have to make a mention here. In .loop, I won't bring it up. I've got way too many people's info from the housing authority. Anyway, in .loop, we have our checklist. And the thing that I wanted to bring up in there is during the broker class, they talk about the safe harbor law, and this is for Zach too, as you move on to being a broker here in the future. The safe harbor laws are when us as brokers teach to a level of knowledge that of all the skills and abilities in real estate, we actually get to count it as we trained people or as we put the training out there, even if people don't watch it. So this mention is to tell people that we have checklists in .loop. And if you don't know where you're at in your own deal, go to the checklist. And they don't really go step by step, as everybody knows, as you're training, or if you're brand new and you don't know the deals and how they work yet. Deals kind of go down as through the checklist, and sometimes they go back up. Sometimes they skip a few, then they go back up. So the deals as a whole don't go straight through the checklist, but it is there to help you stay on course. And so I just want to make mention that they are there to help everybody not forget steps. One of the biggest steps that we always or we continue to forget is taking a picture of earnest money. And so if you get a check from your client and it's their earnest money, take a picture of that thing so that you can have it for your records and for the records of the lender and title if they need it, and the other side if they want to see the confirmation of earnest money deposit. And so it's a lot harder to go to Mountain America and get the check request or a picture of it after you've already submitted it to Mountain America. So I just want to make sure everybody knows there's a checklist, there's a line item for that. Make sure you guys are looking at those checklists.
I have single-handedly made TJ go to Mountain America probably 5 times because somebody forgot to take a picture of the earnest money check.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the
TJ's
thing
really
is
good
that,
at it.
thank you. I appreciate that. I will always do my best to make sure that it is smooth and easy, even if you mess that up. But one day I won't have that kind of time, and so it'll just put you in a bind, and then you'll have to wait on me to go to Mountain America instead of usually I can just like call them and they can email it to me sometimes, but they have stopped doing that, so I have to go in now. Anyway, it's just one of those things. There's a checklist for a reason because there's like 45 steps. It's easy to forget stuff. And so just really make sure that you're on those items. And if you have it memorized, cool. No big deal. But I don't even have it memorized because deals just they don't flow all the time from point to point. All right, last thing. When Kit was in here, we were talking about leveraging events because we went to his class. And so we have events that are coming up, and we would love for you guys to have the ability to leverage those events to build your business. Obviously, me and my mom and Fitness Realty as a whole, we're always going to grow our business and Fitness Realty as a team. But the majority of the events, we want to leverage you to become successful. Um, like we're already kind of in a referral phase where it's just referrals most of the time. Rarely do I ever have a cold lead that comes my way. And probably the same thing for my mom. Like we're just working referrals and warm market. But I'm creating all these opportunities for you guys to build your business because maybe you don't have as many referrals as you want in a year, or you don't have as many deals as you want in the year. And so I really want to just put those events out there because they're for you guys. Except for the state fair because I always love riding the Gravitron, so that's a side note. But anyway. Um, so the events that are coming up, though, my mom is going to put together one that's kind of a kicking off the summer. It's going to be a shaved ice event, and it's going to be at Kit Bates' office out in his parking lot. And when we get the details of that, we'll put that all out there. So just be watching for those details to come. We have FitCon coming up from it's May 12th and 13th, which is just not this weekend, but next weekend. And so that one's going to be an amazing show. We have a pretty good booth location. We're probably going to do a $500 cash prize. So there will be tons of people coming up to talk to us, sign up, that you can get their contact info. There's going to be great opportunities there. Here in a couple days, I'll be putting out the schedule so you can sign up for like a 1 hour block, however many you'd like, and it's going to be first come, first serve. If somebody takes like all of Friday and that's the only agent for that time block, because we'll have 2 agents in the booth at a time. If somebody signs up for a full Friday, that's up to them. If you want it, you have to come and tell me that you want it when I put that schedule out, and I'll book your name in there. And then we only do 2 people in the booth. So if you're there at FitCon and 2 people are there in their time slots, then you just wait for your time slot to come up, and then you can make that happen. Sometimes we'll have 2 agents in there, and I'll be floating around, or my mom will be floating around. I try not to stay in the booth, but if I come walking around and you have questions, then feel free to like flag us down, and we'll answer some tough questions if you get some from the public. All right, so that's FitCon. We do have the state fair coming up. That's in September. So I don't know the dates off the top of my head, but that's 11 days long, and it's like 12 to 13-hour days. There's tons of good opportunities for you to talk to the public there. And then one of my goals for this year, just in my personal or on my personal list, is to have 2 more events, but I don't know what those events are because I want to make sure that they are events that you guys want. And so if you have an event that you want to run, you just let me know what it is and I can come and help and partner with you. Fitness Realty is going to pay for half of that event, and then you have to pay for the other half, and then we'll help you launch and run that event. But essentially, you have to spearhead it because I just don't have time to run everybody's events. But I want to do two more. So if you have like Draper Days or uh, Tooele Days or something up near the base for Zach, I don't know what's up there. So but you could pick an event and say, hey, I want to run a 1 day booth, and we will help you run it, but we're only assisting you. You have to take the reins on it. So I'm putting that out there. I'm going to put it out there in the universe. 2 events. Somebody just message me. If we do more than that, that'd be great. But if we hit 2, that's my goal. All right.
So TJ and I, oh, sorry, TJ.
No, I was going to say, if you have any questions about this slide, shoot it.
I just wanted to talk about, I don't have any questions. Sorry, I'll wait. Does anybody have any questions?
You're good. Go.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about events because I think it was Kit that TJ and I were talking about how he does events and he'll just like rent out a theater. Or was it Kit that does that,
Yep, it is
TJ?
Kit. Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
But just fun stuff that people want to do. And I think one thing I'm going to do this year is there's a huge pumpkin patch. Everybody likes pumpkins. Everybody likes Halloween. Little people love running through pumpkin patches and everything else like that. But one thing I wanted to say is, think out of the box. Don't set up a booth in a hot parking lot somewhere when it's 100 degrees outside and expect people to come.
hmm
Figure out what you like and then go do that. Because if you like it, somebody else likes it.
Good.
But don't be afraid to leverage lenders and title companies because I mean if you need a space they're more than happy to give you office space that's free. You just say, hey, I want to do this, then you hook it up with them, and sometimes they'll, sorry if I'm talking too loud,
You're
sometimes
good.
they'll even go half or anything else like that, and that's money. I mean, seriously, and you just
hmm
use a Fitness Realty platform to blast it out to as many people as you can and plan as far ahead as you can. But you know, do stuff like that. Like a pumpkin patch, or TJ's been going hard with classic skating, and do things like that. Maybe there's a fun center up by me. Maybe like the third Saturday of the month for every other month. The first 50 people that come to the fun center, they get it for free, and it's Fitness Realty. You hand out
hmm
cards. My last little nugget that I absolutely love doing. Everybody goes to coffee shops.
hmm
Everybody loves going to coffee shops. I'll pay for somebody's coffee, 20, 30, $40, whatever it costs, and then I will give the person ringing up my card, and I'll say, hey, I want to buy their coffee. Give them my card. So they get
Nice.
free coffee and my card, and it makes them feel good, which is good vibes in the universe. And maybe they're like, oh, he's a realtor. He is not a jerk. He bought me free
Right.
coffee. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
do
love
that
that
all the
idea.
time.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of room that we can take from what you just said and really kind of expound on that in our personal lives, and really kind of figure out what are the events that we like. Last kind of piece on the events, I forgot to mention we're going to do an end of the summer barbecue because we used to do that. And so we're going to throw one heck of a party like always. Last 2 times we've had 1,000 tacos, and so as you guys know, I'm part Mexican, and so I want to eat tacos as much as possible. And so that's why we have lots of tacos.
We got to do it at
Anyway,
your house again,
You
TJ.
are not Mexican.
oh, my mom, or not my mom, sorry, my wife would say, heck no to having
No,
it here.
it's got to happen.
We could have it in the clubhouse though, and that would be awesome because it'd be clubhouse and pool, and it would be legit. That would be so fun. So I don't know. We'll figure that one out. It's nice to have the end of the summer barbecue like in the middle of Salt Lake County or close-ish. So like last time it was at the Sandy Park, and we probably had 100 something people there, and it was fun. So for everybody that hasn't experienced that yet, it's a great time, and it's a great time for you to invite everybody that you know, even if they don't show up because they want an invite to something. and they know they have busy lives, so they probably won't show up, but they got an invite and that'll feel good to them. All right, last thing, really quick before we head out. The swag stores, I know that there's super expensive stuff on there, and that's just because marketing material and swag stuff is super expensive now. So if you have ideas for the swag stores, let me know. I can tweak it as much as possible. And we do have two different swag stores. There's a training video with links and on that on both of them. And the other thing is one of them is the ID or Idea Works. That one's holding like $2,000 worth of swag for us in a warehouse. If we don't start buying that stuff, then they're just gonna charge it off and ship it to us and delete the store. And so if we don't care about that one, that's okay. We'll let it go. But if we want to keep it, then we kind of need to fill it a little bit, and just buy some stuff off of there. Um, they didn't give me any quotas, and so I just said, can we do a couple shirts like a month? And he was like, yeah, it's just got to be something. Like right now, we're not doing anything there. And so even if it's just me trying to buy a couple shirts every other month or every month, I'm going to try to do that just to keep it live. But if we go like a year of me doing that and then nobody cares, I'm just going to get the rest of the swag from there. They can write it off and we'll delete the swag store. That particular one. We'll still have the other one, which is not as good in my opinion, but it's free. And so, but anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not saying run out and spend all your money in there. Like, don't do that. But having the logo on yourself, on your body somewhere when you're out and about does create conversation. So it's not a terrible idea to spend a little bit there and, get the ball rolling for your business. So anyway, anything on Swag Store before we do last reattacks and get the heck out of here? All right. I want everybody to program two numbers in their phone. This 8915305 is my personal cell phone. If you text this one, which you should title TJ's text line as a completely separate person, so that it's not just both of my numbers on one contact. Um, if you text this one though, and you're asking for questions or help, I don't answer this one all the time, so I won't see it. But if you need immediate help, call this phone number right here. So I'm going to leave this up on the slide so you guys can program those into your phones. Because I've had people text this one and then they're like, "Hey, you didn't respond," and I'm like, "Which number did you, which number did you text?" And then they tell me this one. This one is the CRM marketing material stuff, and so I don't monitor that one all day, every day. So if you need me directly, this is my personal cell phone number. You'll hit me every single time, and I will try to do my best to like ping you right back or call you or whatever. I usually try to drop everything else and help you. All right. Any comments, questions, concerns, critiques? It's 9 o'clock. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
I got a couple of things, and I'll be really quick. I just want to
Shoot
remind
it.
everybody, get out to all the platforms that you use, whether it's Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, or anything else like that. Update your profiles, update your pictures, update your contact information. It's really hard for people to get a hold of you. Maybe they see you and they absolutely love you, and you have the wrong phone number on there.
Oh,
The other thing is change your voicemail. TJ used to be gangster about this. He changes voicemail like monthly. And don't record something. Hey, this is Zach. If it's better, text me and I'll get back to you. Little tidbit for me, I absolutely hate text messages, and I hate getting a voicemail that says, "Hey, if you want a quicker response, text me." Drives me nuts. But just freshen everything up out there in the world. Make sure your contact's good. Make sure your business cards and your face shots and everything else like that's good to go. There's a ton of pinned up energy of clients that are just want to blow money because they couldn't spend it last year. So make sure you're updated and you get a piece of that pie.
Yeah, I love that. The dynamic voicemail is something that is very, very valuable. I won't lie, I haven't changed mine for a while because I actually found one that I love that is if you don't leave a voicemail, I will not call you back, you know, some version of that because there's just so much spam. Like my phone rings consistently all day long, you know, it's just kind of crazy now. But not like, ooh, that's so cool, you know, but it's just kind of annoying having so many robocalls trying to hit the line, which, you know, it's part of life, part of being online. But yeah, I love dynamic voicemails, so that is a great way to do that. And in fact, if you don't know, that's part of we have a guerrilla marketing tactic that's all in the shared folder. So if you want ideas about guerrilla marketing or like getting into the trenches, that's one of the hot topics on there. There's like 32 different tactics. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We will see you 2 weeks from now. And if you're a business partner with us, I'll see you a week from now. And if you want to know more about that, you can message me. Okay, see you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.